Well, hey there, folks, and welcome back to another episode, a classic episode of the Just Japan podcast. It is your host, me, Kevin O'Shea, back at ya with ya. It is December 21st, 2025. It's almost time to bring in the new year. It's almost 2026. And this is an episode that is 10 years old. That's right. A Just Japan podcast from 10 years ago. I'm sharing yet another classic Christmas party with you guys. Last week I uploaded another episode from 2016. A lot of you were really happy to have that pop into your feed. I appreciate everyone who downloaded that and listened to it. Again, as I said in the previous classic episode, I hope you're all doing well. I have obviously not been publishing episodes of the Just Japan podcast for some time, but I have been very active in the podcast world, specifically with the Supernatural Japan podcast. Weekly episodes there. Many months of the year, I come out with 2 episodes a week. If you are interested in Japanese folklore, Japanese history, spooky tales, urban legends, things about the more mysterious side of Japan, come on over and listen to Supernatural Japan. Links are in the show notes, but it's anywhere you can find podcasts, obviously. I still do publish some content on the Busan Kevin YouTube channel, of course, and I'm active on Instagram at JlandKev and on X and Blue Sky and all those places. I'll share all of those links in the show notes. In this episode of the podcast, it was originally published on December 22nd, 2015, and it was episode 92 of the Just Japan podcast, and it was our second annual Christmas party, and in it I had guest Steve Miller of the Asia News Weekly podcast, who later on, he was based in Korea at the time, went on to work for Voice of America. There was Mully, of course, from the Mully's Place podcast, the Mully Shaves YouTube channel now, and Kathryn and Russ from the Kitty Does Japan YouTube channel. And it was the second annual Just Japan podcast Christmas party. And we just had a great time talking about how Christmas is celebrated in South Korea and Japan. It was a lot of fun. You know, Steve was in Seoul, Mully was in Shizuoka, I was in Kobe, and Russ and Kathryn were down in Okinawa. It was fantastic. So please sit back and listen to this. I hope you enjoy it. Check out the links below. Again, I'm super active in other podcasting spaces, so go and check those out. I won't add anything at the end of the podcast. That'll be it. But again, this is a 10-year-old episode. That's fantastic. Wow. That's wild. I do miss the Just Japan podcast days for sure. It would be cool to start up something similar to that again and recapture that kind of fun spirit. All right, guys. Well, that's it for me, Kevin. Have yourselves a Merry Christmas, a Happy Holidays, happy holiday season wherever you are in the world. I hope you're happy and I hope you're healthy. And have a fantastic New Year, everyone. And may you have the best of health and luck and happiness in 2026. All right, take care, and I'll be talking to you soon.
You're listening to the Just Japan podcast. Everything you want to know about Japan.
Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to the Just Japan podcast. My name is Kevin O'Shea. I'm the host of the Just Japan podcast, a weekly podcast that brings you all things Japan. And I want to wish you a happy holidays, folks. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Holidays in general. Just, hey, it's the 2015 Just Japan podcast Christmas holiday episode, and it's going to be an awesome one, guys. I've got some great guests. Returning friends of the Just Japan podcast are joining me this evening to talk about Christmas in Japan and in Korea. That's right. We've got Steve Miller of the Asia News Weekly podcast. We've got Jim Owens, aka Mully of the Mully's Place podcast. And we've got Kathryn and Russ from the Kitty Does Japan YouTube channel. That's right. It's going to be awesome because, hey, it's the holiday season. It's time to have some fun, and it's a podcaster party this evening coming to you from Japan. Folks, now, of course, you can find the Just Japan podcast on iTunes, on SoundCloud, on Stitcher Internet Radio, and on Libsyn. And all those links are in the show notes at Busan Kevin.com. And of course, you can find me on Twitter at JLandKev. You can find me all over the place. I'm all over the place, just everywhere. On YouTube, on Facebook. All those links are in the show notes at BusanKevin.com. That's right, guys. You can find me all over the place. It is my favorite time of year in Japan or anywhere else. That's right. It is the holiday season. And in Japan, people do celebrate Christmas. They celebrate the holidays, maybe not in the way that you might expect, but some things are kind of similar. And it's all pretty cool because people here in Japan like to have a good time no matter what. So they enjoy celebrating Christmas. Now, of course, people in Korea like having a good time as well, and they like celebrating Christmas too. Now, for those of you who may not know, I lived in South Korea for more than 5 years. I'm a Canadian, by the way, if I didn't mention that earlier. I lived in South Korea for more than 5 years, which is where I met my Japanese wife, and which is what led me to come to Japan eventually. And, of course, I've experienced some Christmases in Korea many years ago, but we've got Steve Miller, who lives there right now, who's going to kind of keep us up to date on what things are like there, a little more relevant, his stories and information, because I left Korea quite a long time ago. So without further ado, let's just jump right into the fun of the podcast. Let's chat with our panelists about Christmas in Japan and in Korea.
The number you have dialed has been changed. The new number is... Please note, the new number is...
Okay, everyone, welcome to episode number 92 of the Just Japan podcast. Woo. Christmas Party 2015. Woo! Yay!
Yay!
And I've got a cast of excellent guests joining me this evening for the second annual Christmas podcast episode of the Just Japan podcast. I'm very happy to bring this episode to you guys out there in Just Japan podcast world. And tonight our panelists are Steve Miller over in Korea.
Are you there? Are you there, Kevin?
I'm here. I am here.
You cut out a couple times.
Yeah, you're cutting out.
Oh, no. Okay, I'm cutting out. Okay, well, I'm not going to stop it just because, yeah, there we go, guys. This is called Just Japan Podcast Amateur Quality. I'm cutting out, though. But Steve, we got Steve Miller in Korea joining us on the podcast this evening. Steve, thank you.
Oh, it's my pleasure to be here, Kevin. How are you doing this evening?
I am great. And we also have Jim Mullins, a.k.a. Mully.
Yes,
Yay.
glad to be back. It was
Your 1 millionth episode.
my 50th episode this year.
Something like that. And then we have Kathryn and Russ of the Kitty Does Japan YouTube channel. Yay.
Hey.
Hello.
Hey. And there's also a new podcast that we're going to talk about later, Kathryn, right? You got something new coming down the pipeline. So basically, this is kind of like the Just Japan podcast. It's a Christmas party episode, but it's kind of like the podcasters party episode as well. We're all podcasters here.
That's true.
That is true. That is true.
Nice. And I got to keep an eye on things here. I'm kind of a bit paranoid after my recording software pooped out a few nights ago. I don't want that to happen again. But we're all here to talk about Christmas in Japan and Korea, of course. We've got Steve Miller from the Asian News Weekly podcast joining us. And I also lived in Korea for a few years. So, it's interesting stuff. So, guys, again... thank you for joining us this evening, and I'm going to ask each of you to give a brief introduction about yourself, maybe tell the Just Japan podcast listeners where you're from, where you're living now, what you do, that kind of thing. And maybe we'll start with Steve.
Sure. Well, as Kevin said, my name is Steve Miller. I'm the host of the Asian News Weekly podcast, some of the highest rated independent news shows of the Asia Pacific region, and I'm considered an internet radio and television travel and news expert. I'm originally from Arizona in the United States. Have been living in South Korea since 2009, and since about 2011, I've been featured on several shows here in South Korea, but also on the international stage, covering a variety of topics. And the Asian News Weekly podcast began in 2013, and beginning in January of 2016, I'll assume an at-large board member position with the Asia chapter of the Asian American Journalists Association.
Oh, wow. Nice. Yay. Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's a shining resume.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. And then we move on next to our friend Mully.
Yeah, I teach English.
You do more than that, sir.
Okay, my name's Mully. I've been living here in Japan since 1991. I'll be hitting 25 years come February. I've been on this podcast quite a few times. I've got my own podcast over at Mully's Place. I enjoy making videos and doing podcasts, playing guitar, playing billiards, yada, yada, yada. And I'm glad to be here tonight.
Awesome. And we're really happy to have you here, Jim.
Oh, and I'm originally from Cincinnati.
Okay, nice. And next we have we've got a team here this evening. We've got a returning guest, Kathryn. But
hey.
we have our partner in crime, Russ, as well. So can you guys tell us a little bit about yourselves?
Well, I'm Kathryn. I am the mind behind the Kitty Does Japan channel on YouTube, and I also have a all-new podcast.
Yay!
Oh, wait a minute. Victor's... You guys there?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, sorry. Victor was trying to ring in. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
I see how it is, Molly.
Sorry, go ahead.
As you were saying, Kat.
Yes. Kathryn.
So I am the mind behind the Kitty Does Japan channel on YouTube, and I have a new podcast called JQ&A, where I interview multiple people every week to find out their thoughts on life in Japan. And one of the people who I always have on my channel is my loving husband. Why don't you introduce yourself, honey?
Hey everybody, my name is Russell. I am the assistant to the Kitty Does Japan channel.
Nice.
Executive producer.
Executive producer, exactly.
I'm taking that. That's a good one. No, I try to help out Kathryn and all her stuff. I do IT in Japan, and I love cars, motorcycles, and soon to be a lot more bug production stuff.
Yeah, that's
This
it. That's
coming-
it. We're comrade in arms, Russ and I, with our love of all creepy, crawly things in Japan.
No, come on.
Yeah, I really don't know what it is, but I'm so glad Kevin's into it, because now I have someone to bounce my creepy crawly.
I don't know. This is something I've gotten into in the last few years, but I'm really into bugs. I'm just amazed.
No, wait. Sorry. I'm not downing you guys on your love for bugs. I remember a Russ that wouldn't pick up one of them dung beetles.
That's so true. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what
He's
it is.
changing his ways, huh?
Was that the start of it, Russ, when I got you to pick him up?
I really think it was. Like, for some reason, after that, I just love them now.
Yeah,
I love being around them. I love taking pictures of them, recording them. My biggest thing is try to one-up Kevin every time he posts something new. That is literally my goal, which is great, because it's like you just try to find that new creature and stuff. So
It's awesome. Funny, actually. A few weeks ago, I sat down in the teachers' room at my school, and I looked at a couple of teachers at my school, and I said, "Guys, I think I have a problem." And they're like, "Really?" And they looked at me very seriously. I'm like, "Yeah, I think I've got a pretty serious problem." And they're like, "Really? What happened, Kevin?" I'm like, "Well, this was on a Monday." I said, "I spent all of Friday night sitting at home, alone in my computer room, drinking beer and watching documentaries about hornets." I was like, yeah, you got a problem, man.
that's awesome.
Yeah, but okay, so we're here this evening to talk about Christmas. Yay! Because it's just honestly, we're recording this on Monday, the 21st of December, and this episode will drop tomorrow night on the 22nd, just a few days before Christmas. And, of course, people who are listening to this podcast are interested in life in Japan, life in Asia. They want to know about all kinds of things that are happening. And it's the time of year to talk about Christmas. So, I sent you guys out a few questions, a few talking points. And what I want to get into right away is, of course, we all grew up far away from where we live now. I mean, I'm from Canada. And you are actually, I'm the lone Canadian. The rest of you are all from the United States. Mm-hmm. We're all very far away from where we grew up and whatnot. And so I'm just curious. In a nutshell, how would you guys describe Christmas in Japan and Korea? Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, Steve.
Let's start with Steve. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, to be perfectly honest with you, I would say that if you look at Christmas as it is celebrated in the United States today, I put out a tweet earlier. I can't really say earlier this week. Late last week. Is Christmas a religious holiday or is it a secular holiday as it's celebrated today? And more than 2/3 of the people responded, it is a secular holiday. So in South Korea, I would agree with that. It is a very much secular holiday, specifically for couples. And there's a high degree of consumerism where people want to purchase and exchange gifts. And that's really what it is in the United States for a great many people, aside from the tendency for families to get together once a year. Here in South Korea, expats get together. We have huge Christmas parties and exchange white elephant gifts. But, for most people in South Korea, it is a Valentine's Day-like holiday with all the Santa trimmings and whatnot. But like we just had a huge turkey dinner at our local expat bar with all the fixings, great stuffing, mashed potatoes, gravy. It was fantastic.
Yeah. I've got a story to share all about that kind of later on in the podcast about my time in Korea many eons ago, but that's exactly kind of the experience I had when I lived in Korea as well. You guys who are living in Japan, would you say that kind of fits the bill here as well?
I'd say so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you guys go out for KFC.
Well, I don't know if you could actually go out.
I don't think
KFC
you can go out for
Christmas.
KFC on that day. Yeah. I think it's
You have to pre-order.
you have to pre-order it. Yeah.
Now, I'll tell you guys a real quick little story. I mean, seriously, 30 seconds. I used to work at Nova, and our school was above a Kentucky Fried Chicken. And at the beginning of December, the hallway outside of our school was like a private hall, just filled floor to ceiling with buckets. Those Kentucky Fried Chicken buckets. Just, and they disappear on Christmas Day. Thousands.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's a thing. I mean, now, Steve, what you mentioned about it being a secular holiday, I mean, I completely agree with what I've seen here in Japan in my time here. I mean, it is. I mean, I'm sure you guys, Russ and Kathryn and Mully can agree that. I mean, it is like Steve said here too as well. It's kind of like Valentine's Day with the Christmas trimmings, and it's now one thing I am seeing though. No, of course, I mean there is no religious connection here in Japan, but at the same time, I think if you talk to most people back in Canada or America, or a lot of people, there wouldn't be that connection as well. It would be a time of Santa, gifts, being with family, but maybe again, I'm not sure how much of a religious connection there is for a lot of people. I grew up Catholic, like I was brought up very Catholic in Eastern Canada. So for me, it was always a very strong connection with the church. I remember having to go to church all the time, especially in the Christmas season. I was like, oh my God, I gotta go every day, leading up. So when you were a kid, there was I have memories of a lot of boredom, like sitting in the pews of the church and listening to, and just like when a normal Saturday service would maybe be 40 minutes or 45 minutes, like it was like some of these were like an hour and a half, 2 hours. So I have that connection of a child going through it. But yeah, no, I mean, but as since I've been here, I've only been here for about 7 years. I think I'm the junior Japan person on the podcast this evening, but I've seen it I've seen like the commercial wise and as an event for children get bigger and bigger and bigger. And even just the time I've been here, because I've been a teacher the whole time I've been teaching children the entire time I've been in Japan, and it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah, I would say even like the lights around the city have probably tripled in the 25 years that I've been here.
Okay.
That's amazing.
Yeah, we actually live way out in the countryside, and there are actually houses, like a number of houses with Christmas lights.
Right. We got a few around here too.
And it actually surprised me. I was like, wow, we can actually go for a walk and see the Christmas lights here. It's much bigger than it used to be.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I know all of you out there, you all follow me on my personal Facebook page, and I put up a photo earlier this evening of my local community center. that was all lit up it was really nice. And my wife actually said to me, she was like, she was like, Kevin, you got to go outside right now and check out the community center, because she had to take my son to the clinic to get his flu vaccination this afternoon, and they got back around 4:30, which is already dark at that point now. And I guess they cycled past it and we're just like, holy cow, what happened? Like last year, there were just a couple of strings of lights, and now it's full on.
Look like a Christmas tree.
It's lit up. I almost said that and then I didn't, but you did, so it's okay. It's lit up like a Christmas tree. Okay, so.
Well, sorry, Kevin.
Go ahead.
One other thing we should point out is here in Japan, Christmas Eve is more the point than Christmas Day.
Please elaborate, sir. Please elaborate.
It's more of a time for the couples to get together and go out and do their thing. And actually, even on Christmas Day, they have Christmas cakes here. They're just like a yellow sponge cake covered in whipped cream and with strawberries all around it. And those
strawberry shortcake.
Yeah, but it's made looks like a birthday cake.
Yeah, those are a birthday cake.
Now we have special holiday cakes at the local bakeries that are done up in entire winter scenes that are only indicative of this time of year,
right?
Because there's so many holidays in the first few months. We factor in Valentine's Day and then White Day and whatnot.
Sure.
Every single month has its own unique cake decoration motif.
No, it's not that.
These are specifically Christmas cakes.
But in these Christmas cakes too, I don't think they're as elaborate as they are maybe in Korea. It is essentially, it's like a strawberry shortcake with strawberries. I mean, on top, whipped cream, strawberries. And then, I mean, if you go to the supermarkets, they tend to cater towards, for example, children. They'll have, for example, right now, the big kids TV shows they've got Yokai Watch, they've got Kamen Rider, Ninja, and so what they'll have is it's just literally the same cake with kind of a little plastic image,
supermarket cakes in the United States.
Pictures stuck on, and then the price will double in that case.
Yeah.
And I was actually telling my wife, and I was like, I did the math. I literally did the math, and I was like, if we went to the supermarket and I bought one of these, for example, Kamen Rider cakes, it's 4,000 yen. But I could buy the plain cake for 2,000 yen, and I could actually go to Toys R Us. I could buy a couple of Kamen Rider toys for about 1,200 yen. Just put them on the cake,
right?
And it would still be cheaper.
Sure.
And then my son would have toys.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Well, the one thing that I wanted to point out about these Christmas cakes, when I was saying about Christmas Eve being the main focus, is these so-called Christmas cakes actually go on sale on Christmas Day. Half price.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah. Like day-old food and whatnot. Is Christmas Day a public holiday in Japan?
No.
See, here it is one of our red days. So, on the 24th, that is a huge date night, as it sounds like it is in Japan. But because the 25th is a public holiday and a day off.
Wow, it wasn't when I worked in Korea.
Yeah, no,
I actually taught on Christmas Day.
Yeah, no, it's been a public holiday for a number of years. So again, a lot of times families will do things together just because it is a day off.
Well, no, in Japan it's a regular work day.
Yeah.
Now that's the thing too. I mean, again, it is you've mentioned, it is all about New Year's Eve, and even not New Year's Eve, Christmas Eve, and that's when Japanese families get together, and if they do kind of do that kind of the Western, air quotes type celebration of Christmas, exchanging gifts and whatnot, I think that tends to happen on Christmas Eve.
Yeah, I remember when I was. I've asked my students before, what are you getting for Christmas? And they're like, what? What are you talking about? We're not getting anything. And if they did, it was probably just one little thing or something.
Yeah. Not
like us where, you splurge and buy 15 things for your wife and, a dozen things for your kids. This is just I got a pair of socks. Oh, great.
Well, I mean, the thing is, I teach at an international school, and I mean, my students who are mostly Japanese, we were talking about the other day, about 2 weeks ago, they were talking in great detail about how they were all going to take their iPads and smartphones and stuff, and how they were going to how they were going to record Santa Claus when he came in the house, and they were going to hide their iPads. They were going to actually gift wrap boxes and put their iPads in the boxes and cut a hole for the camera through. And they were going to, when they went to bed, they're going to make sure their iPad was completely charged and set the camera to film. They're going to hide it under the tree to record Santa, and they were going to bring in the footage to show me afterwards.
That's awesome.
This is and they're great detail. And we actually had an ELA class, English Language Arts class, where they actually had to do a journal entry about how they were going to, because they kind of inspire this, how they could clandestinely record Santa Claus as he came into their house. And they were just so into it.
Wow, to think that we just had to stay up.
Yeah, I know, huh? Yeah. Now they're just we'll go to bed, but we've got technology, right? we'll have drop cams and what do they use the nature photographers, the kind of the trip cams, the tripwire cams,
trigger cams,
to get photos of bears and stuff. And
Tomoko and I have gotten a couple of our friends that have kids into the custom of leaving cookies and milk out for Santa.
Well, actually, that's something
they really love that idea.
My class is going to be doing. I know a lot of the kids in my class are going to be doing that, because I read a few different storybooks to them about leaving cookies out and leaving a carrot, which is kind of a newer thing. You leave the carrot out for the reindeer, and that's very cool. I'm very happy to see my students get excited about that. It's a lot of fun. Yeah. So anything else about Christmas that you guys would describe it
I don't know. I mean, we always have our end of year parties, not necessarily a holiday party or a Christmas party, but usually midway through December, just like I did in the U.S. before I left.
Yeah, I suppose we have that. We have that here too in Japan. It's quite a big thing. The end of year parties.
Bonin-kai.
Yeah, I actually didn't. This is my first year in Japan. I didn't have one.
Yeah, I didn't go to one either.
Very bizarre. I don't know if I'm disappointed or happy.
I'm going to go to one with my guitar friends on the 29th.
My company used to tend to have one, but it was free. So it was hey, nice. The year I worked at a public school, I had to pay $100. So I was that's not so nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well, I guess we already alluded to this. No, we didn't even allude to it. I've kind of stated this, but my question is, I'm curious to know, in your time, everyone here, our time, and the country we're in, have you how much have you seen the popularity grow? And maybe throw some examples out. I mean, I already heard a bit about the lights and whatnot, but how much have you seen the popularity of Christmas grow in Korea and in Japan?
You guys go ahead.
Russ, I want to hear Russ on this.
Yeah, Russ and Kathryn.
Yeah,
Russ, you've been in Japan for 10 years.
Yeah, what do you have to say, dude?
Well, I think a perfect example of it becoming so much popular is the recent Coke bottle ads. For the Coke bottles now, when you do the what's the barcode reader? The
QR code.
If you QR code the Coke bottles, it actually goes to an app and actually website and plays the song that you just scanned from the bottle.
Wow, I did not know that.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah, there's of course Japan always has these crazy marketing things that they're doing, but it seems like a lot of them have been more Christmas specific as opposed to just winter specific recently.
Are those kind of like the small metal bottles that you see now?
No, these are the what are they, like 500?
Yeah, they're the 500 milliliter plastic bottles.
Yeah, they look normal, but they have instead of names like they had recently, now they have song lyrics.
Really?
That's cool.
And then you scan it, and then it plays that whole song for you.
I have not even noticed that.
Huh?
Yeah, it was pretty cool. One other thing I noticed is the illuminations that happen in the parks and stuff like we were talking about earlier. Is if you notice, they all go based off of their how many bulbs they have.
The bulb count, yeah.
The bulb count is slowly increasing every single year.
Do they advertise as bulb count?
Yeah.
They do.
How do you know of this bulb count?
So me and Kathryn are in this new area in the countryside and everything, and we originally came from Okinawa, and some of the ones we had down there, some of them would be, we have 1.2 million bulbs. And 750,000 bulbs, and we come up here and there's this one little park, and it's we have 20,000 bulbs, and it's no, we're not gonna go to that.
Yeah, it's funny.
So yeah, and just those bulb counts keep increasing, so they're making their venues bigger and bigger for more and more people, and then you're seeing concerts happening at them, live performances, and food vendors are coming out and stuff like that. So It's definitely growing in popularity.
Wow. Steve, your time in Korea. You've been in Korea now for what? How many years?
Six and a half.
So
6.5.
6.5 years. And your time in Korea, how have you seen Christmas grow?
Well, that is a bit of a difficult question for me to answer because, number one, since I do get a lot of vacation time, this is the time I actually leave Korea to enjoy warmer weather. But I will say this. I will say this. Largely, I've seen it really become more secular and really a lot more advertising be put into place, emphasizing the couple aspect of Christmas. This year in particular has been a little bit more interesting because of the MERS crisis earlier in the year and the drop off in tourism. So the government was trying to get more people to come back here and spend more money. So I think it was October, they instituted the first of the 2-week Black Friday sales, which caught a lot of expats, off guard because of the humorous nature of calling a Black Friday sale and having it 2 weeks long and then having it in October rather than in November. And then there was another big mall that had another Black Friday sale. So they're trying to really incorporate more, I would say, North American type events into their Christmas celebrations in South Korea.
It would be like, I guess it'd be like being a Canadian in if they had a Boxing Week sale.
Yeah, well,
in July.
And I have seen a few places advertising like a Boxing Day sale, but not have it be on the 26th. It's just, essentially like an after Christmas sale. So the period between Christmas and New Year's, or be their Boxing Day sale. But they call it Boxing Day even though it's a week long.
Right. Well, yeah, like the Black Monday sale,
Cyber Monday.
Cyber Monday on Amazon was a week.
Yeah. So that's really what I see more of taking place in South Korea.
Okay. Wow. Yeah. No. Again, like I mentioned earlier, I see it getting bigger, at least with kids, teaching children. And I do see more lights and things like that. Okay. Well. Okay. So I've been here for 7 years. I know. Steve, you've been in Korea for almost 7 years. Mully, you've been in Japan for
quarter century.
And Kathryn, Russ, you've been in Japan for about 10 years now, right?
Mm-hmm.
What kind of holiday traditions? And now I know Steve's holiday tradition is to get the heck out of Dodge. He's usually you go to the Philippines normally. You're like
Southeast Asia. Southeast Asia is my place of refuge.
The hot place. So I'm curious, and that is a tradition indeed. What kind of holiday traditions do you have with your family? Your partners here in Japan or in Korea?
Well, I catch a lot of flack from Tomoko. But my family, when I was living in the States, we always opened our gifts on Christmas Eve. And then Christmas morning was for Santa.
Okay.
So since I've been here, since Tomoko and I got married at least, the past 10 years, we've decorated our home like an American home would be. And a lot of times people come in here and they say, oh my God, I feel like I'm in America. So I've brought that tradition of opening presents on Christmas Eve here, and every year Tomoko, we should be doing this on Christmas morning. I'm like,
and Tomoko is right about that.
Oh, see.
See, now I'm not going to say anyone's right or wrong, but I do it differently than you do, Jim. But yes,
but yeah, that's just the way our family's always done it. We'd get my grandma's house on Christmas Eve and do the present exchange, and then we'd have Santa in the morning.
Right on.
Oh, see, that's a nice way of doing things.
So I've tried to do that here.
Cool.
So that's what I brought. And
you've got quite a nice tree, Jim. I mean, I haven't been to your place, not yet.
Yeah, it's about an 8-footer.
And what's you don't have a star or an angel on the top? What's on the top of your tree?
A Bengals helmet.
Nice.
But this year, because we got our pup in September, who just turned 6 months old, we did not decorate at all this year.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we've got nothing.
We took that same stance since we're leaving Korea before Christmas this year. We didn't decorate either.
So will you decorate, Jim? Or
No. We're not doing anything. He's still in the chewing phase.
oh, so just basically worried he'll rip down the tree and chew its pieces and stuff. Oh, okay. Gotcha. That was a non-dog owner in me. I'm like, huh?
Maybe next year.
What are you talking about? But you know, at the end of the day, I should make the comparison. But so my daughter is now 2. But last year, when she was 1, how should we? Okay, my son. All children have different demeanors. We put the Christmas tree in the living room with all the decorations and lights on it, and my son just looked at it, and I was just like, nice. Never touched it when he was 1 plus. My daughter, though, like the Tasmanian devil, like let's rip everything we can off this tree and throw it around and just let's shred what we can and destroy. So last year when we had baby gates, we had to actually keep the tree. Well, we had to eventually move it because we learned from our mistakes down the hallway near the Genkan behind the baby gates for the safety of the tree. But this year. I'm so happy that now that she's a year older, we can actually put the tree in the living room. Yeah, it's nice.
That's very funny.
Yeah. But I know in my house, I mean, we had a lot of traditions growing up, being brought up very Catholic, I suppose. And I'm not a practicing Catholic now. It's very, I guess, like, yeah, it's not about religion Christmas here. It's just about gifts and having fun in my house now. But you know, we used to traditionally in my house open one gift on Christmas Eve. And that was more, I think my parents just shut my brother and I up from the whining, like, and the begging and the please. And another thing we have, a tradition in my house, is the Christmas stocking is a really big deal. And now as a parent, I understand where this came from. But I mean, basically what, you know, we would wake up at, like, you know, when we were kids, I think we'd wake up at 4 or 5 in the morning and try to wake my parents up to, like, go out and open up gifts. So eventually they would get, like, a big giant Christmas sock and fill it with tons of snacks and fruit and all kinds of little gifts, like comics and little toys and little this and that. And it was like to kind of keep us busy for a few hours so they could sleep longer. And it was very clever. And I mean, as we got older, I got it that, like, it would be, like, very planned. So and when we would wake up in the morning, my brother and I each had our own bedrooms. We'd wake up in the morning and our Christmas stocking would be laying at the end of our bed.
I've never had a stocking
filled with toys, little toys, small toys. And then that would kind of, like, keep us very busy, like, for a few more hours. And then we'd eventually head out and wake up my parents. So, you know, the Christmas stocking, that's a big thing, like running out and grabbing. It's almost more important in my house than the big presents, getting, like, meaningful, cool little stocking stuffers.
That's so funny. Ours was, for us, or for me at least, we had a very similar tradition. We could only open one present on Christmas Eve, but without fail, for the entire time
Socks.
I lived with my matching pajamas.
Oh,
which wouldn't be that funny if I wasn't 10 years older than my sister.
Right.
So it was very interesting. And we also had stockings, which were the first things we could open. But rather than small toys and fruit, it was things like deodorant and bobby pins and all the necessities.
Practical things.
Yeah.
You know what's interesting about the pajama thing, Kat? If you're 17 and your sister's 7, you probably feel like, oh God, what am I doing, right? But if you were 23 and she was 13, you'd think, oh, this is kind of a cute little thing to do with my little sister.
Right?
And she's hating life.
Right.
She's like, my friends are going to see this.
Well, the worst part is that our tradition was also to go to my aunt's house, who was across the street, and we had to walk there, but we had to wear our pajamas,
that is a new element.
And you're from the Boston area, too. It's probably freezing cold.
Yes, it was. But it was only about a 5-minute walk. They lived across the street in a very everybody loves Raymond-esque scenario.
5 minutes long. It's a wide street.
But it wasn't just, my mom had this way of finding the pajamas that were very odd. So like I would be, 5'7" with feety pajamas on.
Nice.
It was very interesting.
Picture it don't exist.
I'm telling you, check Facebook tomorrow. They'll be there.
So funny.
Thank God they didn't have Snapchat back then. Yeah.
Right?
It's too funny.
Nice.
Yeah, and for me, it was more of a Christmas Eve. We'd go to the grandparents' house, and we would exchange gifts between them and us. And we'd have, drinks, and food and stuff like that. And then when
They liquored you up as a little kid?
No. The adults were getting liquored up. That was great. And then on Christmas morning, it would be the stockings, but the only difference is I would get like lottery tickets and stuff, which was really cool. Unfortunately, I never hit it big, which would have been awesome. And then it was big presents with my folks and stuff like that. So pretty cool.
That's cool.
Yeah, the biggest problem we always had though is we always had cats in our house, and every single cat would love to climb up into the tree and then make it fall over. So we actually learned that we had to anchor it to the wall. So that was awesome because we lost a lot of special ornaments that way.
Ooh. No, that actually reminds me of special ornaments, that comment. That's one thing that growing up in my house, my parents were always very kind of hands-on, kind of crafty, artist-type people. So we would spend a lot of time making ornaments. Like, starting from the time we were very young, as a family making ornaments together, whether it be paper, this or that. So what's really cool is that when I visit my parents in Canada, if they show you their Christmas tree, they can almost walk you through our family history, and they can tell you about each ornament and what it means. And
That's awesome.
And so what's happened the last few years when I've had the chance to visit Canada, they've given us ornaments that myself and my older brother made, and then we've kind of continued that tradition now where we've started to make ornaments with my children, and we make them together, and it's kind of like a living history, the tree.
Nice.
So I think that's a really awesome thing that my parents, a really amazing idea. I'm not sure where that came from where they learned that, or if they came up with that themselves. But it's an amazing thing, and that's just something I definitely want to continue with my family as well.
Well, we don't make ours, but Tomoko and I do buy one new ornament each year, some signify that year. It started out, the first one we got was actually a very small gourd, painted gourd that my friend's mom was into painting gourds, and she gave us this really nice, it's probably 2-3 inches high, and it was on a string, and she died not long after she gave it to us, and that was our first year ornament, and we've been adding one each year since.
Oh, nice. Well, I mean, we don't make all of ours. We buy stuff too. I mean,
Okay.
No, we buy things, it's yeah. Okay. Nice. Well, okay. Oh, yeah, Steve.
Well, no, I would say, we do ornaments as well, because since we do travel so much and to so many different destinations, the easiest thing for us to pick up while we're abroad are very, very small knickknacks. So my wife and I turn those into ornaments. And since we live in a very small place and don't have room for a large tree, that's what we decorate the holidays with. So we put, basically a 1 meter tall tree, and then hang all these keychains and cell phone charms and other things we've created from knickknacks we've collected over the years to decorate our home during the holidays.
Nice.
Awesome. Cool.
That's awesome.
All right. Okay, guys, story time. I'm curious. We've all had good Christmases and maybe not so good Christmases while we've been abroad. I'm curious to hear some of your stories about maybe some really great Christmases you've had, or interesting. Well, actually, if you've had any bizarre experiences, really cool ones, maybe ones that were really bad.
I've got a really cool one.
Please share.
Mine starts in September. I went
okay.
Quick.
It's an hour-long podcast, Jim.
Yeah.
5 tonight.
My band used to practice at this guitar shop. They had studios, and we went in one night, and there was a guitar on the wall that I'd wanted for years and years and years, but I could never afford it because it was like, $3,500. Well, here's one used that somebody had sold to the shop, and it was $650. So I took it off the wall, checked it out, it was in really good condition, blah, blah, blah. And I told the guy, I said, I want this guitar. I'll bring the money in next week, because we would go in every Wednesday night to practice. I was like, I'll bring the money in next week. So the next week I go in, and it's gone. And I was like, where's that guitar? And he says, sorry, the owner's friend wanted it, so we sold it to him. And I went off like a cannon. I mean, I cussed him up one side, down, up one side and down the other. And I swore, we're never going to practice here again. And I would drive like an hour to the next studio rather than 5 minutes from my house, because I just didn't want to go there. So this is like mid-September. Christmas Eve rolls around, and Tomoko picks me up from work, and she says, do you want your Christmas present? And I said, sure. And I said, where is it? She says, it's in the back seat. And I turn around, and there's that guitar laying in the back seat. Oh. And I was like, what? Huh? What? How'd you get this? And she said, the guy at the guitar shop, she went in the next day after I was there. Oops. And she told him, I want to buy that for Jim for Christmas. Tell him that you sold it to somebody else. And she told him, she said, now he's going to get really mad. She knows me. She says, he's going to get mad. He's probably going to call you names. But don't worry, he won't hurt you. But just be prepared for it. So here I am. We went straight from my office to the guitar shop, and I walked in with, excuse a little bit of French, my ass in my hand, head down. Oh, Ito-san, I'm really sorry. Thanks, man. Thanks for doing it. But that was like the biggest surprise gift I've ever had.
Nice. That's very cool.
Good one, Mrs. Mully.
All right. Anyone else have a story to share?
Well, our first Christmas together, 10 years ago.
First Christmas together and first Christmas in Japan.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
It's Japan, so we didn't have a turkey or ham or anything. We didn't really have it figured out back then. So we decided we were going to go with chicken. And we went out and we bought chicken, and I made the whole Christmas spread, totally fresh to Japan, wanting to keep America alive, And everything was ready except for the chicken. I had to get it, start cooking it. We were only 30 minutes away from eating dinner. And I open up a pack of chicken, and it's spoiled.
Ah.
Oh.
I was like, oh my God, what are we going to do? The only other thing we had in the house was bologna, bread, and cheese.
Oh.
So we made fried bologna sandwiches.
Oh, that's the most amazing gourmet treat in Eastern Canada, by the way.
Well, there you go. It's very Canadian Christmas and has
some mustard. Oh my God, it's heaven.
From that day forward, every Christmas we have grilled bologna and cheese sandwiches with all the fixings.
Nice.
By bologna, we call that tube steak back home.
Sorry.
You can get a big tube of bologna, eh?
I don't mean to go too far off course here, but Kathryn, where do you buy bologna in Japan?
Where do we buy bologna in Japan? Well, we find any type of processed meat that we can get our hands on. It was bologna once upon a time, but...
where does bologna come from? We're not sure.
Actually, this year we decided we're not going with bologna. We're just going to go with some other thing.
Go ghetto and get a turkey or something.
Well, we're still going with the grilled. We're going with the grilled cheese with some type of sandwich. But we haven't gotten that
if you guys saw, I just posted a photo. I've got myself a nice butterball turkey.
I cannot wait to see how you're going to tackle that.
Here's the interesting. I actually have a 14-pound butterball turkey now, and then I looked at my oven and went, "Oh God, I don't know how this is physically going to happen." Luckily, my friend and friend of the Just Japan podcast, Kenny Hana, who was on a couple of episodes ago, who was a friend of mine. We met in my first year in Korea. He now lives in Japan. He's coming up with his fiance to spend the day with us on Christmas. He is a former chef. So
nice.
I'm going to be like passing the buck. I'm like, dude, what do I do?
Save us.
Save us. I have got a big turkey and I know you want to eat it. And I know this is my oven and you want to eat it, right? Make this happen, sir.
Yeah, when
beautiful.
When I saw your picture today, I was like, how are you going to cook that, Kevin?
Well, no, I mean it's I'm gonna have to like you know how sometimes you have to like break it and flatten it. No, the people have to do that sometimes when they have small ovens. Yeah,
I can just imagine we're gonna see the news and there's gonna be like foreigner in the middle of Kobe with fire pit and spit with turkey. What is
like
he doing?
in a local park.
Local 7-Elevens
In local park
wearing
wearing wife beater, drinking Canadian Club whiskey. That's rye whiskey, guys. I'm from Canada. Oh my goodness. Steve, do you have a memorable story of your time of Christmas in? Mind you, have you been in Korea for an actual Christmas?
I have actually my very first Christmas with my wife. So this is back in 2009. Okay. We have a friend that runs a travel group here in South Korea, and he put together a weekend package for 50 people up into Gangwon-do, up into the mountains at a log cabin pension. So there were 2 busloads of folks going up there. And the highlight of the trip was not only being able to stay in a 2-story wood cabin with complete with wood-burning stoves.
Which they call a pension in Korea, right?
Yeah. So the typical European pension, condo in the woods, shall we say. But the cool thing about this is that they did an entire Christmas dinner. So we had ham, we had turkey, we had stuffing, we had mashed potatoes, and we all kind of chipped in to cook it throughout the day. And dinner was supposed to be at 6, but they kind of misgauged the cooking time on the turkey. So then it became 7, then it became 8, and then finally became 9 before the turkey was finally ready. So we kind of twisted around the schedule event. So we did White Elephant Exchange. We had this amazing meal. And while we were eating, some of the organizers went outside to dig out a fire pit and make this huge bonfire. So after we ate, after we drank inside, we then took the party outside to spend a few hours around this humongous bonfire to ring in the Christmas holiday. It was a fantastic weekend. And as I said, it was the first time my now wife and I were together in South Korea.
Awesome.
Wow.
That's awesome.
I think last year in the Christmas episode last year, I talked about being stranded in Japan for Christmas while I was in Korea and how it ended up being a pretty cool experience. For this episode, I don't want to rehash an old story. I thought about it. I thought about my first year in Korea, and I lived in a place called Ilsan. And Steve, you're probably familiar with Ilsan.
Yeah.
And at the time, there were very, very few foreigners living there. If you saw another foreigner, you're like, hey, be my friend. Talk to me. I need to speak English to someone. When Christmas rolled around, I had a few expat friends, but they were all kind of paired off with, they all had Korean girlfriends, and I didn't have anyone. So I spent Christmas by myself, and I can't even remember the day of the week it was, but it was kind of, I rented a bunch of Christmas movies, VHS from the local video shop. I bought some beer and stuff, and I remember going out to a konbini at one point during the kind of early evening to get some more beer, I think, and just go home and be pathetic. And I was in the konbini, and I remember a Korean man walked up to me or stopped me in the konbini. He was like, well, the typical kind of, where are you from? I'm from Canada. Why did you come to Korea? Kind of this conversation you tend to have. And this guy was just like, come with me. And we went outside, and there was a group of his friends. And the area where I lived, there were so many Calbee restaurants, which would be like yakiniku restaurants. And he just said, "Come with me. We're going to eat food." And this guy brought me over to this restaurant just down the street with a bunch of his friends who are all Korean, and they fed me a whole bunch of meat and spoke to me in broken English and gave me a bunch of soju and beer, and I got really drunk and had a really awesome time.
Nice.
Fantastic.
So it was very cool. That was very kind of the kind of welcoming Korean feeling you get, when people meet you. So yeah, that was a very cool way to do it. Very non-traditional, but very awesome. Okay. All right, guys. The time is marching on. I'm just very curious, not maybe necessarily a Japan-related or Korea-related thing, but favorite Xmas songs, Christmas songs, TV shows, movies. When it comes to Christmas, what are some? Okay, I'm going to start with movies. What are some movies? It won't be Christmas without watching for you guys.
Mine would have to be "It's a Wonderful Life" with Jimmy Stewart and Donna Reed.
Wow, very classic. Wow.
I don't think I've ever sat through and watched that in its entirety.
I have, but not since
I've seen clips, but not the entire thing.
I think I've watched it once or twice when I was still living at home with my parents. So maybe my like teen years or late elementary school years.
Now for me, I like Die Hard.
Oh yeah, that's a good Christmas
and movie. A Christmas Story.
Oh, excellent. Nice. Kathryn, Russ, how about you guys?
For us, and I think I can speak together. Oh, for me in particular, it's got to be National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. And
it's Cheers. Christmas with the Cranks, which just says a lot about our lives.
I have to check that out. I don't know what that is.
My wife, in her monthly book club, that was the book in question for this month. So she made me sit down and watch that film just the other night, and I really wanted to pull my eyes out of my socket. It's so bad. The performances by Jamie Lee Curtis and Tim Allen are so forced. Oh my God.
You need to understand something, though. Those are my parents.
It's true.
Like, I am not even kidding you, which is why it's so fun to watch, because every year you watch Christmas with the Cranks and you're like, oh, I'm home for 2 hours. That was good.
It's the same thing with Christmas Vacation. It's like all the relatives come in, everyone's sharing beds, and just nobody's happy, and everything that can go wrong is going wrong. And it's just the one guy just trying to make it all work. It's the classics.
Yeah.
For me, it would be, I got a few. Well, I mean, there's, of course, a National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. I love that movie. Not any comparison to my family, but just we grew up laughing our butts off to that movie. Loved A Christmas Story. You'll shoot your eye out. Of course, the classic. Oh my gosh, I'm having a complete brain fart right now. A Christmas Carol with Alistair Sim. So the original black and white one. That was my mother's favorite. My mother always had to watch that, and I even to this day I love that original, the British version.
Yeah, how can you not?
Yeah. Yep. And then, of course, what is it? My mother loved it so much. My mother's favorite, so therefore I love it too. Was it One Magic Christmas? With it was about like where the kid's dad gets hit by a car or something, and then there's like the angel up at good movie.
Look it up.
Kind of cheesy. It's 80s, right? The 80s.
If I can add one more,
please do.
It's actually two movies, but the same movie. I like the original and the remake of Miracle on 34th Street.
Yeah.
The remake is the one that makes me cry.
Okay. Well, how does Die Hard 2 make you cry?
Oh, yeah, of course. When John McClane finally gets with his wife, oh, dude, it's tearjerker.
Come on. That's a Christmas movie too, right? Die Hard 2.
Yeah.
That's at the airport.
It is. That's at the airport, but I'm not sure if it's Christmas.
Was it Christmas? It was winter anyway.
Yeah.
No, it's Christmas. Yeah, because they got the snowmobiles. And,
yeah, it's Christmas.
Yeah, it's Christmas. Okay. There's like houses with the Christmas trees on.
Even start out with that rap. It's December 24th.
Yeah.
Right.
Nah, but
one thing Sorry, one thing I'm really surprised by is no one said any of the old school claymation or stop motion like Rudolph.
Well, because we were talking movies.
Well, no, but Kevin opened it up to big things. I mean,
Yeah. The stop motion Rudolph was amazing.
Oh,
that was really big in my house because my dad would always run around talking like Yukon Cornelius all the time. All the time, and all you hear is
Gone Cornelius.
Yeah, and he's trying to eat
Cornelius.
It's huge.
We just watched that 2 nights ago.
Yeah.
Or the classic Frosty the Snowman.
Yeah.
With the Burl Ives singing.
Yeah. And the Year Without a Santa Claus.
Oh my God, right?
These are classics. These are good ones.
The original Grinch.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
You're a mean one, Mr. Grinch.
Ah.
Really are a heel.
Oh my goodness. Okay, guys, I'm curious. Moving on. Good stuff here. This is just actually got to do. We won't spend too much time on this, but I posted an article on my Facebook page the other day from Rocket News 24. The most important news source in Japan. Not really, but about the things that the differences in Japan, like Christmas in Japan, things that foreigners don't like. Big paintbrush there. And Jim wrote a comment right away. He's like, sounds like the complainers are whiny.
Bunch of whiny bullpucky.
Yeah, so people complain, Christmas isn't like, dude, they don't understand what it's all about. So what do you think about people who complain about Christmas? And we've all met them, right? We've met them in Korea. We met them in Japan. The people who are like, Christmas, they don't know how to do it.
Look, the people like that, I've always said it one way, and a lot of people get it and a lot of people don't. Those people would complain if you hung them with a new rope.
Yep.
You can't make them happy.
I love your colloquialisms. Yeah.
Yeah, there's people like that. I think, when you live as an expat, and if there's anyone listening to this who is thinking about living as an expat but isn't yet, you have to accept when you go into it that things aren't going to be the same, and you can either you can be okay with that or you can complain about it.
Right.
But you can't be in between, So, I mean, for us, we're pretty much, we just adapted to the way it is here.
Mm.
Yeah. And, I mean, just like Jim said, you can easily make an American house out of your house if you want to in Japan. You can do that. So just do it if you're going to. But if not, then accept that you chose not to.
Right. Impress your friends with it.
No, absolutely. Like for example, my house becomes Canada for Christmas. Like it is literally like a capsule of Canada. It is everything I want my kids to experience and have. And a few days later, my house is Oshogatsu. And my house becomes the most important Japanese holiday of the year. Mm-hmm. And it is completely Japanese. And then I learned from my wife and my wife's family how to do that. Because then it's my turn to be the student. But, that's how we go here. You roll with the punches, right? Mm-hmm. And like you guys said, it's, it's a different country. They do things differently.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
isn't that the whole point?
When you go someplace different, you should expect things are going to be different.
Yeah.
That's why it's called a different place.
But I think that's the whole point of going to another country is to experience other people's cultures and other people's takes on the world. I think,
Don't get started on these.
But you can also it also doesn't go without saying what you should also note that even if you are very traditionalist or whatever, it's available here. Like for example, we live in Yamaguchi Prefecture, which is the home of, all of the Christian stuff in Japan, so we're told. So, there is a major Christian version of Christmas happening a few hours south of us. Yeah. So you can find that. And that was the case in Okinawa, too, and I'm sure it's the case all over the country.
Oh, yeah,
so you can find it,
Yeah, absolutely. I'm a Catholic. I'm not a practicing Catholic at the moment. But or in many years, but I was raised Catholic. And I mean, there's a big Catholic church in Sanomiya here in Kobe, not far from me, where like they have like English services and a priest who speaks English and stuff. And they have a big community there, Filipino community and international community of Catholic people who have, I mean, I could just, I could take my kids there and go to Christmas Mass.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like it's there.
See, I find this very interesting because in my time here in South Korea, I have never met anyone who complains about the way that Korea celebrates Christmas. I mean, they make commentary on the consumerism of it, but I think that's just a different type of consumerism that it takes place in, say, the United States or Canada. I mean, what I see is more or less a phase of homesickness, is that they really miss the traditions and the sentiment of being with their family, being with their friends, and having that a larger sense of connectedness that they don't necessarily have in Korea.
Well, I think that may be the ticket, maybe, Steve, with like the people we have on the panel tonight. We're talking about, we're all people who've been living abroad for quite a long time, right? And
but I mean, even with quote unquote newbies coming here.
Yeah, well, I mean, I suppose people, there's that lack of connectedness. I mean, you know what I mean? I guess when you're new to a place and you're like, oh, maybe you're homesick, that's when you complain. But yeah, I don't know. Is it? I got to admit, I don't work with a lot of people right now who complain about Christmas in Japan. I have over the years. I've seen the blog posts. I've seen the bitchy things over Twitter and stuff like that. Do any of you guys who are? I mean, Steve said he hasn't encountered that much. Have you, Jim, Kathryn?
Oh, sure.
You've met people who complain a lot about it.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I have in the past, definitely.
Like insanely, I can't stand this. But yeah, there's like, God damn it, Japan, why don't you do this?
They don't know how to do it right.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, one thing that I found living over here, Americans are the worst ones. Because and yes, I'm American, but this is the phrase you always hear. And Steve, you may have heard this too. Well, in America, we do it like this.
Oh yeah. It's always better where I'm from, not where I'm living right now.
Yeah.
And that's that's one of my biggest pet peeves of anyone who moves abroad, where they try to interject their own culture into some foreign land, that they're not realizing that they are the guest.
Right.
Yeah,
we do it like this. Well, take your ass back to America then.
I suppose I've heard that in Korea and Japan when I hear Canadians talk about weed. But in Canada, it's okay to smoke weed. Well, there you go, buddy.
Canada then.
Then go back to Canada, because it ain't okay in Japan or Korea. You're going to get your ass in jail.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I don't want to keep you guys any longer. This has been amazing, wonderful Christmas spectacular 2015.
Hey, Kev, before we go, can you hear this?
Oh, yes.
Can you hear it?
Yeah, I can hear it.
Yep. Okay, guys, join in the key of G. You better watch out. You better not cry. Better not pout.
I'm telling you why. Santa Claus is coming.
All over the place.
Santa Claus is coming to town. Okay.
But we all get on. We lose Jim's strumming there.
Oh.
Yeah, it's true.
Don't worry, I will add some Christmas music here and there in post. Maybe I can't fix that part, but nice. Okay.
I'll send you the DVD.
Oh yeah. Awesome. All right, folks. We're gonna wrap it up for this amazing. And it was a lot of fun tonight, guys. Christmas 2015, the second annual Christmas Just Japan podcast episode. We're wrapping it up. So how can people find you guys online on the social medias with an S? I'm going to start with you, Steve.
Sure, just look for me on Twitter at Steve Miller ANW, or visit the website AsianNewsWeekly.net.
Nice. Jim, how can people find you?
All links to everything, podcast, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, all that at www.mullysplace.com.
Awesome. Okay, Kathryn, Russ, how can people find you guys?
You can find us collectively at www.kittydayjapan.com.
Nice.
All links are there.
Yay!
Hey!
And links, and if you guys, if there are people listening, if you just go to my site, there's links to those other sites on mine.
Nice. And of course, all of these links will be in the show notes at boostonkevin.com. Go to boostonkevin.com if you're being real lazy, and everything will be there. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much, and Merry Christmas, and Happy New Year, and all that jazz.
Happy holidays, everybody.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas and a joyous New Year.
All right, folks, so that does it for another episode of the Just Japan podcast. I want to thank Steve and Jim and Russ and Kathryn for taking the time to stop by the podcast and share their stories, their tales of Christmas, their experiences, their everything about Christmas. It was a lot of fun to sit down and chat with those wonderful folks. Now, this episode will be dropping on the 22nd, which is a Tuesday, just a few days before Christmas. I hope you have a chance to listen to it beforehand. If not, listen to it after Christmas. You'll still enjoy it. It's a lot of fun. And remember, all of the contact information for all of those people who are on the podcast tonight will be in the show notes at boostonkevin.com. And before you take off, remember if you really like this podcast, if you think it's something that you more people should be listening to, and I always think more people should be listening, share it on your social media, guys. Share the Just Japan podcast. All right. We were recently featured on the Gaijin Pop blog this month twice, which is really great to have that exposure. And if there's some new listeners out there who found us through the Gaijin Pop blog, welcome to the Just Japan podcast family. There's a lot of back episodes for you guys to listen to. This is number 92. Hey, folks, I'm really getting into nature photography recently. So I've got a Facebook page called Birds of Kansai. So facebook.com/Birds of Kansai. Lots of cool nature photography. It's a great hobby that's getting me outside of the house and learning about nature and science and all kinds of goodness. So I'm having a lot of fun with that. That link will be in the show notes. Of course, all my social media links are in the show notes, so go check those out. If you have any questions about the podcast, if you have a question you'd like me to try to answer on the podcast, please send me an email at justjapanpodcast@gmail.com. You can find me on YouTube at Busan Kevin or Jayland Kev to get some visuals of Japan. And yeah, that's it, guys. We're all over the place, and you can find us all over the place places at boostonkevin.com, which is my YouTube handle, if you're wondering. So that's it, guys. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and all of that stuff. I hope you have a wonderful time with your family and friends. And there will be another episode coming up before the new year. Don't worry. I've already got that recorded. So there's going to be a fun episode about living in Tokyo. So stay tuned for that. And again, share the podcast if you like it. And that's it. So, hey, my name's Kevin O'Shea. I'm a Canadian living and working right here in Japan. This is the Just Japan podcast. And wherever you are in the world, I hope you're happy. I hope you're healthy. And I'll be talking to you soon.
It's Christmas in Japan, everybody! Japan is the country with the best people in the world because they not only celebrate their holidays, they celebrate our holidays. 日本の祭り大好き、向こうの祭りもソースがゲットできるんだ、ダブルプレゼント。The Christmas cheer like we got here in any other land. It's Santa and it's samurai. Christmas in Japan. Turkey tastes great with Christmas cake, cause we all understand. And we're not going home this year. Christmas in Japan. The Japanese know like to do back home, where the profits to be had. Christmas trees are seen well before Halloween at Christmas in Japan.
24th is the date for the fun and the play for those who book their plans.
And you know by the yells from the love hotels that it's Christmas in Japan. The Christmas cheer that we got here in any other land. That snowman's made of mochi rice. Christmas in Japan. Turkey tastes great with Christmas cake, we all understand. And Emily's in a Santa hat. Christmas in Japan. He won't be home for Christmas, he lost his job and his money to fly. It was considered rude when I spewed my food on the boss and boning time.
The Christmas number 1 this year is the same as the last 10. And I will kill myself if I hear George Michael sing that song again.
No Christmas cheer like we got here in any other land. That Christmas tree's made of sushi. Christmas in Japan. Turkey tastes great with Christmas cake, we all understand. They're called Christmas Christmas lights, not illumination.
It ain't right that the stereotype always gets laid on me, man. Cause they would die with no Kentucky Fried at Christmas in Japan.
Christmas Day is a peaceful that we wish it more. That's real party in the Imperial's birthday on the 23rd.
No Christmas cheer like we've got here in any other land. I hear Rudolph Summers at a temple near Nara. Christmas in Japan. Turkey's great, Christmas cake, we all understand.
And no one even notices Christmas in Pakistan.
No Christmas cheer like we got here in any other land. Who needs eggnog? I got hot sake. Christmas in Japan.